Garrett, you guys are obviously missing over 50 points with BI and Z on the bench. What can be done differently? How can you approach the end of games in a different way to close?
Take care of the ball. I fault myself for the one turnover I did have was, I think, a turning point in the game. Najee got a great offensive rebound, and I threw it out of bounds. And then the next possession, we had a turnover, and it was a kind of a snowball effect. And we weren't able to get out of a hole after they were able to put a run on us that late in the game. So I think the biggest thing when we're missing guys like Bi, obviously Zion, we got to play as a unit, but we got to take care of the ball. Obviously, this hasn't been our worst turnover game, but 16 is still too many. Our room for error is not that much.
Kyra had a great game for him. What type of growth have you seen out of him from maybe the beginning of the season until now?
I think just understanding what we need from him, understanding how to impact the game in his way, the pace that he can bring to the team. You know, we don't have anybody that can do what he can do. So his ability to get downhill, play with speed, and be aggressive on the offensive end has really shown, and we need him to do that every night.
Yeah, you've experienced some high highs in this league, some low lows. Just where do you feel this team is right now after this slow start, as the injuries start to pile up? Just how are you guys feeling in the locker room right now?
No, it's human nature to get a little down. If we weren't competitive, if we didn't care about winning and losing, we shouldn't be in this league. But at the end of the day, understanding who we're missing, and you know, as you said, if we were losing games by 15 and 20 every night, it would be a different feeling. The fact that we're in all of these games and there are correctable things that we can control, to have us maybe win some of those games, I think that's the light at the end of the tunnel. And obviously, having two all-stars, you know, coming back hopefully soon, is also gives us some hope. But we got to try to string together a couple of wins to right this ship.
When you have so many young guys in that locker room, how tough is it to kind of make sure they have that positive outlook and understand the big picture, you know, and not get caught up in this current moment?
Understand that it's the league, and you know, if you're worried about the game before or the 2 games before, then you're not worried about the task at hand. We have another game in 2 days against, you know, one of the most potent offenses in the league. So we got to find a way to flush this, learn from it, and move on. And saying that, some people may think, well, we're not really caring about the loss, which is not the case at all. But the way this league works, you got to focus on the next game. You can't get the last one back. So we got to figure out how to learn from it, watch some film, and then you know, put our hard hat on again.
Go ahead with Zoom, please.
Hey, Garrett, I mean, like, you know, tonight what was Zion be on the bench? Like, that's 50 points from last year. I mean, like, how do you even go about replacing that? Like, do you guys feel like, you know, it's not one or two guys? Do you feel like it's a collective effort that goes into replacing that?
Yeah, it's definitely a collective effort. And again, it would be different if we're scoring 20, 22 points every quarter. But if you look at it, you know, we had 35 in the third. We had 26, 26. Offensively, we were able to score points. It's just at the end of the game, we were having these quarters with 12 points. Starting off, I think last game we were down 21-9 at the beginning of the third to start the third. So we have these lulls on offense where we get stagnant, and a lot of it is from turning the ball over. So it's a group effort. We got to continue to play in the fourth quarter the way we played in the beginning of the game to get those leads. So having them come back, obviously, having some closers will help. But we got to just make sure we're trying to play the right way the entire game and not just for 3.5 quarters.